Hey everybody, today we're going to get a first look at a brand I've never had before here on the channel, and kind of like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, I think you're going to see the impression that I get. I wonder how many people pick up that reference. That's a song that just takes me back. Anyway, Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV. Welcome everybody. My first time taking a look at an impression fifth wheel. I've had a lot of people ask me why I haven't had a chance to look at it before, and I just haven't bumped into one. But with our new Anderson, Indiana Bish's RV store, formerly Modern Trailer, where I'm at today, just might happen. I might get my hands on a few more of these if you like what you see. And this one right here is the smallest impression, but it might be my favorite of all the ones that I've seen so far. I haven't seen them all because it actually has just an ounce of originality that is so often missing from the RV industry. Sometimes people ask me, what do the model numbers mean? Well, the RW, I'm pretty sure, stands for rear windows. I am a just dead sucker for those like kitchen bars and rear window setups like that because it takes me back to my grandparents' house when I was a little grandkid. It just speaks to me on a member berries kind of level. But as I've gone through this is a really interesting product where they're not trying to be big, flashy, and fancy. They're actually trying to be very budget sensitive. But they check some big budget features in a smaller budget fifth wheel that I kind of like what they're like. Washer dryer prep, stackable washer dryer prep in a small fifth wheel like this. It's not the first time I've ever seen it done, but it is exceptionally rare. They're very good about, putting those big giant windows in the back. We got that cool windshield in the front. They've got a battery tending solar package, holding tank heaters, a big furnace, a larger air conditioner standard on these. A lot of really cool, sweet features. True queen bed. You don't have to deal with the Shorty McShortpants Camp Queen. But at the same time, it does still show its colors of being budget sensitive. Like it lacks a window in the entry door and a few other things like that. I'm going to try to show you my impression. No, literally, no pun intended. I know that I'm guilty of that, but that wasn't a dad joke. I'm going to give you my lens through my nerdy little view where some things that are awesome, some things that maybe you won't like, and let you decide if it's the right one for you. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. I've talked enough. Let's get going. Now, I will do my very best to reduce my number of Mighty Mighty Boss Tones references in this video by 37%, but I've never had to knock on wood, and I'm glad I haven't yet, because I'm sure it isn't good, but that's just the impression that I get. And anyway, some of you are like, what is he even talking about right now? And there's other people like, oh, yes, that absolutely, I love that. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about this RV. I have to focus in on this rear corner first. I think it's the entire focal point of the RV. Chances are it's probably one of the major impact reasons you're looking at this RV, not to mention the short, easy towing, small size of it, but also, again, some of the smart features. But I walked in the door and I went, oh, wow. And after looking at RVs, I'm a professional looker-atter of campers for nearly 15 years right now. I've never seen a small RV with like a little kitchen like that. I've seen little shades of it here and there. Like Vibe has kind of touched on a few things like this in travel trailers, but I love this. I love this so much. Like, because here's the thing, it's a small little camper. You don't have a giant living room, so anything that opens up the space, I am very, very welcoming to it. And it creates huge potential kitchen prep space. I love that dining bar right there, and it is really a couple's model, although I think you could probably slap a hide bed in this thing if you wanted some guest capacity. But, you could also bring like a portable floating table. You could set it in front of where we're sitting at on the sofa right now for some Dinofa action. But like, you're right on top of the entertainment center. You're right on top of the windows. Every room has things that I love, and every room has things that I'm like, why didn't you do that? And for me, it needs a window in the entry door. Even a frosty glass one, it would just really open this thing up and just take it to a whole nother level, I think. They've done some really cool things here, and they could go further, but it would potentially weigh more and cost more. And this is a brand that is trying to especially be price sensitive. I do appreciate, though, how they've gone with a very pet-friendly design, carpetless, ventless flooring, and this, it is a carpetless slide. If I don't point that out, sometimes people see this marine woven stuff, and I get a comment that says, like, carpet in the slide, SMH, and, like some kind of smack my face emoji like they should have had a V8. This is a carpetless, lower deck. Technically not a carpetless RV, because they do intentionally put carpeting on in like a classic fashion up in the bedroom, which just kind of gives you that sort of, warm piggies factor, the warm toes. Now, the cool thing, these stools, they rotate, which is kind of, you can sit on it and spin, if you will. You could also get those out of the way. So if you're looking for a place for like a big dog bed, maybe you're just doing solo camping. That could work. Not to mention, tell me how many other RVs when you're standing at the kitchen sink, like you just have a just unadulterated view of apparently our lot truck cruising past. Anyway, now over here in the corner, you see one of only two options even available on this RV. The first option is you can outfit it with a second air conditioner. They're 50 amps standard. But today we're looking at the 10 cubic foot 12 volt fridge. They do still offer you the swaption to go to a gas electric 8 cubic foot two-way, so you do have that ability. Now, regular viewer, Mr. Richard Vale, I think you're going to like what you see here, because very similar to like what Rockwood does with theater seats, you can get the middle armrest out of the way, and you can have some cuddle compliance, or if you need your space, you can flip down the population controlling armrest and you can say, get away from me. Now, a lot of times when you start getting into price sensitive RVs, you'll start to see a lot of windows that don't open for airflow. I don't see that being the case here. They're actually doing a very good job of that. And although it's a little atypical, one of the things that I like about these kind of floating-ish style steps, you still can use it as like a little bit of a shoe garage or something like that. Or put like a little tote or a toolbox or something there. Like you can use that space or just leave it nice and open and clean. Now we've got the electric space heat and toenail toaster right down there because she's all the way on the floor. And I will say this. The TV's mounted a little high given its proximity to being right on top of the theater seat. If that had a, let me actually get back over here and sit down. If that had a swing down kind of TV mount, like even just a downward pivot, it doesn't even need to swing left and right, just face downward a little bit, I feel like it would really, really help that. Although there is kind of a gap of space in here, I wonder if it couldn't be mounted down a little lower too, and maybe that would help. It all just kind of depends. Now, we've already kind of spoiled in our floor plan in a flash that you got a hidden walk-in pantry-tainment center there. We're going to start diving into the kitchen, but one of the things I wanted to do here is, again, while I've copped a squat, look under those overhead cabinets. You see some household and USB plugs there. Now, those are way up high. Short cord appliances may not even reach them. Thankfully, you do have some household and USB plugs here in your little pop-up power tower, but this is kind of a there when you need it, gone when you don't sort of thing. So you can tell it to get out of the way if you don't want it there, but that also creates potentially for laptop warriors like myself, I could use that as a work camping station. So if you're looking for a solo traveling work camping RV, this could be an absolutely awesome fit for you. And we're going to talk about what it might take to tow this thing around in a little bit here. First of all, though, cracking open the kitchen storage. At first glance, I actually was like, ooh, the kitchen storage is a little lacking. Now, I love the triple drawers. I love the wide open spot under that farm sink for a big wastebasket. I'm personally a fan of the 12-volt fridge as well. Now, I don't cook a lot in the RV, so the smaller oven doesn't bother me. That might not be your favorite thing, though. Again, you've got that, either population controlling or cuddle compliant theater seat over here with the neat little hidden USB plugs in it. But initially, it kind of felt like maybe the storage was lacking in the kitchen. You remember, it has that giant hidden pantry-tainment center. Now, if someone's watching the TV, yeah, you do need to swing the TV out of the way for a minute, but it's real quick, and we're in an RV. We're not in a big, giant mansion, man. Sometimes, especially when you start getting into small, confined spaces, you got to start getting a little more creative and understanding with your stuff. And if you don't like that, that's fine. There's plenty of other floor plans. I respect that, too. Oh, interesting. Little Monopoly board storage slot over there. Actually, no, there's a shelf in the middle, but I do think you could slide a couple board games or maybe TV trays or something inside there. I tell you what, TV trays sound kind of old-fashioned and hokey, but the fact is, TV trays in front of the sofa are one of the most underrated, handy things that holy crap. Look at the line of air traffic controller lighting they put in here. So this is a really crazy fact in RV construction. Lights and windows are among the most expensive things in total. When you total up not just the parts, but the labor and everything that it takes to get them installed in an RV, lights and windows are among the top 5 most expensive things in RVs. That's why when you start looking, especially in the travel trailer market, if a manufacturer wants to make an RV that's the same floor plan but less expensive, all they do is they start by peeling out lights and windows. And when you're looking at the RV on the showroom or, out at a dealership lot like this, a lot of times they're not powered on and they don't have the lights turned on like I have right here. So those are things you don't even realize you're missing. And it works in a deceptively good predatory fashion against, and I'm going to say the word against, first-time RV buyers who don't know what they don't know. So kind of keep all that in mind. A little pro tip for shopping there. Now, some excellent space around that toilet. It's porcelain, it's foot flush, it is very fluffy friendly, and that is a floor flush shower as well. People wonder, why don't they do that in travel trailers? And it's basically for plumbing code. They can get away with it in fifth wheels because they have extra belly space underneath this to work. But you notice, good headroom up in here. Even with shoes and hat, I could fit. But again, trying to give you those extra details. Like, it's nice that we got the hanging rhino beetle shower rack, towel rack over here. And you've got a basic but functional medicine cabinet, nothing fancy. They don't go over the top on their cabinetry, I'll tell you that. There are aspects, again, just being brutally transparent and candid on this. There are things that I've seen on the cabinetry in this RV that the camera doesn't pick up that I could just not talk about, and you probably wouldn't even know. But some of the fine finish, fit, and detail, like the trim work on this, could be improved. But overall, the floor plan and the features are really on point for the money. And that's the thing, is that this is always going to be a price-sensitive RV. It's never going to be the big be-all, end-all. And it is really important to know that difference. One of the other things that's really nice, though, is this is a true queen bed. So, this is also a camper that does come with the, I love to call it the factory backbreaker death wafer kind of mattress. It's not amazing, but being an easy true queen, and you can just push a mattress straight up the hallway and drop it in here, this is also very easy to swap out with the queen that you like. And how about this? How about that cool front windshield in this little price-sensitive trailer? Just giving it a different look and helping make the little room not feel so little. Now, it does have a privacy shade, but you'll notice it doesn't actually fully cover the windshield space, but I guess it's better than nothing. But that's also a big flat shelf. I tell you what, you got a cat, you'd have a cat laying up in that thing all the time. Frankly, I'd put I got a 14-pound dog, I'd put my dog's bed up there, his little, pet bed, and I bet he'd love that. Now, I do respect, though, that they have household and USB outlets on both sides of the bed. Just smart features like that. Like, manufacturers say 15 cents sometimes on just the stupidest things, and it absolutely drives me nuts. Now, the bedroom storage against the front wall here is very symmetrical. So you can see they give us dual hanging wardrobe towers, but they also have like a dresser block down below that. And then, of course, there's easy lift storage under the bed. I like that it's easy to lift at this price point with the features I'm seeing. I wasn't sure how it was going to pan out. The window over here is not the biggest, but it's enough. It can serve the purpose if you just need some, cross breeze, or if you need, campsite overlook security. Now, looking up top here, you see our TV hookups and the ceiling vent. Remember, this one that we're looking at is 50 amp service and just second air ready. You can get a second air installed from the factory. So another handy little factoid to kind of keep in mind there. And that big door over in the corner, that was a surprise to me. So take a look at this. That is actually not just extra closet space. It is prepped and ready for a washer dryer. And in a smaller fifth wheel, having a choice between a combo or a stackable washer dryer, that, my friends, is about as rare as hen's teeth. In case you're wondering, hens don't have teeth. But I've never closed the slide on this RV before. I've never even stepped foot into an Impression fifth wheel before today. So, hope you, appreciate the crash course learning thing that I had to put myself through to get you some footage here today. What I can tell you, though, just knowing what I know through general industry experience, for those who need road mode traveling access to the upper deck, you're about to not like what you see. Because unless you're going to yeet wifey over the slide, you ain't going to get there. And in case, again, you don't know what I'm talking about, yeet is the phrase for throwing. Just yeet
and chucking something. So unless you're gonna literally throw your wife over that thing to get to the bathroom, I don't see it happening. I will never explain yeet again from here on forward. I expect that you will know what it means. But so we're not napping craptastic. We're not, and there's going to be times in this video today where I think it sounds like I've been beating up on these guys. I'm not. I'm just telling you what is and what isn't so that you know if it's right or not for your money. But if you look at the fridge, you look at the sink, you look at the dining, this is as snacktastic as it possibly comes. One other thing I want to mention, I don't really see any sort of tie downs for these stools. You're definitely going to have to find a place to put those, and I think I know a really good place to put them. Why did I say them so weird? Them. Ugh. All right, anyway, I know a good place to put them. But also, to help drive another point home, this is a rack and pinion slide. So I've only got the slide partially open. You can actually see the sidewall through the window right there. If you need to crack the slide to get to the bedroom and bathroom real quick, it's okay to do that. I don't recommend doing it in the rain, but you can. I'm saying you can slide past it. All right, what I was getting at, when you're traveling, these stools, I don't know if they intended it or not, they slot, like the legs slot perfectly into the shape of the structure up here. And you don't even got to flick the strap. They ain't going nowhere.
And when you look at a small, short fifth wheel like this, especially one that weighs like less than 8,000 pounds, I think a lot of people start going, ooh, my half ton could handle that. And I want to, generally speaking, advise against that. And you're thinking, what's the deal? It weighs 8,000 pounds. My truck's rated for 11,000 pounds, Ajax. And first of all, that's not my name. It's Mr. Nerd to you, or Miss Jackson if you're nasty. But I've been trying to work that into a video for a while. That finally felt right. Anyway, what I'm getting at here... Look at the cargo carrying capacity on this thing. It has like around, approaching like 4,000 pounds of cargo carry capacity? So the total weight GVW of this is more than a lot of your half tons really should be handling. But also, specifically, the hitch weight on the front of this thing. It's enough that especially once you add a hitch into the bed of your truck, you and your passenger climb in the vehicle, and you load cargo in these front compartments, you're probably going to overload the payload rating on your vehicle. And I don't care what people say, airbags are not a magic fix-it solution for lacking payload. Airbags don't actually increase your payload. You may be able to force the RV level a little bit, which certainly doesn't hurt the equation, but what it doesn't do is change your axles, your brakes, the stress on your drivetrain, and you'll be burning that candle out at both ends. So you want to kind of keep that in mind a little bit. Now, you may have noticed down there those nice Goodyear Endurance radials. This is a forced air heated underbelly, and you see those sectionalized belly panels right there. Originally kind of brought into the market by Forest River, Cardinal, and Cedar Creek, luxury fifth wheels long time ago. Those are really starting to catch on. There's also 12-volt tank heating pads down there standard, which is cool. Now, with this being a smaller fifth wheel, one of the only hitches in its giddy up out here is that it does have a smaller front pass-through compartment, but smaller fifth wheel, smaller compartment. I still think it's enough space. I don't know. What's your 2 cents? Plus inflation, 4 cents. Jumping over to the other side here, I do really like how they put the battery disconnect, generally speaking, high enough to be away from shifting cargo. The charge controller, I feel, is in a really interesting location. I guess it's okay, but I would kind of... Ooh, hold on. Sorry, I saw something shiny, almost quite literally. We got the barley poppinator inside there, brother, in case you don't got the twist-offs and you got to pop the top on the barley pop right there. Backing up just a little bit here. Once again, this thing's less than 29 foot long. So in terms of towing and going, fantastic for that. Obviously, we got the travel access concerns, I think is a fair way of stating it. But, travel accessibility on this one, you can make it awesome kitchen stop, but if you want to get your bedroom and bathroom, you got to make sure you can park where you can open the slides. I know that's a big deal for some folks. That's why I point that out. Over here, behind the walk-in pantry entertainment center, they just had a chunk of space, so they said, let's do a thing with it. And they got the little mini camp kitchenette thing. Doesn't have any kind of sink fixture, but you do got the griddle. You got Dad's medicine cabinet there for the barley pop and the bottled water. Although you could always remove those things if you just want more outside storage. So that's just kind of up to you. I could frankly, at this point in the marketplace, I could pretty much myself go without outside speakers. I need to quit harping on that. I've whined about that too much. But I do like how they at least put the speakers down low. And this is one of those things right here. The windows, you may notice, are not extremely tinted. And while that provides just absolutely huge, amazing views off, the inside of the RV, it also means that you are potentially putting on a free show for the neighbors, especially if they're parked kind of close to you and they got a big old window sitting right there. So that might just be one of those things you want to consider. This is certainly, no, I've never found the RV that works for everybody, but there's some good stuff going on here. And they, if you notice, we're at a bad angle to see it. I should have pointed this out sooner, but they put about the biggest awning on here they possibly could. They did a good job of that. You want to bring some bikes or e-bikes, or you want to put in a cargo tray for like a generator rack or something, you got yourself a 300-pound rated cargo receiver hitch off the back. Now, that is not actually something I could call a towing hitch. It lacks the 4-way wiring harness. It lacks the safety chain hooks. Could somebody DIY fabricate that stuff? Yes. But your work is not covered by the manufacturer's warranty, so kind of keep that in mind right there. Now, let's talk good news, bad news. Good news, we have a sewer hose stinky slinky caddy tube right here, so you don't got to mix that all up with your black tank stuff. Bad news, this is a two-headed sewer monster. You have a gray tank outlet in the back, and then a black and gray for the bathroom up front in front of the tires. And I know some folks don't like that. Again, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or otherwise, I want to make sure I point it out so you know what you're getting for your money. And I'm telling you, I love this facility down here. It's just, they have so much selection, and it's just so easy to navigate and get through everything. I just really like being here. Anyway, I'm really glad it's very close to my home store. There's not a whole lot to write home about up on the roof, but they do have, I'm going to call it a glorified battery tender. They have a 100-watt power solar panel up here, standard. They don't offer any solar expansions from the factory. This feels on the low edge of minimal nowadays, especially when, like, right over the way here we got brands like Keystone on their most inexpensive travel trailers doing at least 200 watts. Now, we're not looking at their most inexpensive trailers, but that's still the case. So I like to kind of ask the question, what do you think constitutes a reasonable absolute base solar package from a manufacturer? And what should be like an available factory upgrade, or should they not actually get into solar and let you build your own? Leave me some feedback. Let me know. So let me know what you think of this one. What was the impression that you got? By the way, every single time we record one of these, chances are I'm going to be throwing down a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones joke. And if you are not familiar with that song, I might just leave you a link in the video description to check that out, because that is one of those songs that just gets me jazzed, man. Anyway, I will also, of course, leave you links in the video description to check for pricing and availability. And something new I've started doing, you may notice this giant QR code on the screen. People who are watching from, like, connected TV, like watching, YouTube on their television, you can scan that right with your phone and be able to check pricing and availability very easily, and I have to get the phone out and type with the tiny thumb kind of thing. So, little things I can do to try to make your shopping experience a little bit better and easier. We want to do that out there for you. And again, if you appreciate all the things that we're doing, or just a couple stupid dad jokes, intentional or not, hit that subscribe button, like our video, and we'll catch you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.